But I kept searching for something, and I was like, oh, let me do like this,
Yeah.
long style conversational podcast show, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I think for artists, I really needed the video. I really needed to see the stuff because if you can't see it, you don't know what they're talking about.
I mean, that's kind of the beauty of podcasts turning into video for the most part in general. So it works.
Yeah. I mean, now Spotify is all.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm still getting used to that.
It is
Whenever
weird.
It pops up, I'm like, oh, yeah, you can do that.
I don't really watch videos on Spotify.
Me either.
I'll listen to it. And sometimes I have to, because the default is that it will run the video, which kind of drains your battery. So I get kind of
same thing with like the music. It'll show clips of the music video, and it drains like crazy.
Yeah. But here we are, and we have your stuff behind us, and I gotta say, dude, your work is out there. It's super trippy, super psychedelic. I love it. I think you and I are on like the same wavelength. We're on the same.
I would definitely
path.
agree with that. Seeing, especially with some of your pieces you have back here that I looked at, the way that you've decided to use the lines and the contrast within all the space, it just creates all this emotion that I kind of see reflected in some of my own stuff.
Yeah.
Particularly this one and part of that one right there. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna talk about all this stuff, and then because you are super prolific. You have so many pieces. I spent a lot of time just going through, oh, that's cool. Oh, I like that one. Oh, let me look at that one. And where does that come from? Where does the prolificness come from? Are you just churning things out every day? How do you do that?
So, sometimes there's like people ask me like, how long does it take to create a piece? And I'll be like, it could be I create 27 of them in a day, or it turns into months before I finish that single piece. And it just kind of depends on exactly what I've been personally studying at that time, whatever I've been reading, what music I've been obsessed with, and albums on repeat, what lyrics I heard, what book I read, all at the same time. Those things kind of come together.
Okay.
And when it's a super big idea, I can have multiple perspectives come out of it.
Okay.
They may not all be the same thing or even on the same topic, but one idea strikes another that I had 6 months ago, and I'm just knocking them all out. But the main thing that started all of this was back when I decided to start painting in general. I was getting really into studying art history for the first time, learning everything I could about every major artist I could come up with that came up when you did your first Google search. And the main method that I got was actually from Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Okay.
And he had a habit of not finishing a piece because he would be working so fast that the paint would need to dry. So he'd start working on something else. And I was like, actually, that's a very smart method. He wasn't intending for it, but it was a way to break your brain from one thing to go to the next.
Yeah.
And you can just keep going. It kind of becomes an assembly process, but as long as you have a plan of what you want to do, it works every time.
Yeah, and I've watched some of your videos on YouTube and some of the things you put on Instagram, but YouTube you showed a little bit more of you actually working, and it seems to be like very in the moment, expressive. It's like a time and a place. So how do you go back to that time and place if you have to let it dry? How do you get back into that same emotion, or do you, or does it take on another life form?
Usually it's the music.
Music, okay,
extremely, cool. Extremely influential.
Okay.
And I will die on this hill, but not that I'm a huge fan of Spotify as a company. We don't need to get into that. But the point is, I listen to music so much that I tend to be up there whenever they do the rap at the end.
Yeah.
I kind of astonish myself with how much I actually listen to music. It seems normal to me, but when I start talking to people, they're like, how do you not constantly have a headphone in your ear? And that's the case. I do.
Okay.
When I'm driving somewhere, when I'm walking somewhere, I constantly have something that I'm listening to. I definitely have my favorites, but I'm always trying to explore and push the limits of what I like, especially when it just comes to genres. I'll look up a new country and a certain genre and discover something new I hadn't ever heard before, and that sparks a lot of things in my head.
Yeah.
And it just kind of keeps that going, and I'm like, you know what? I want to feel that again. I'm going to go back and listen to it. So I have a huge roster of stuff.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to pick your brain on that here. What you just mentioned reminded me of the first time I discovered German rap.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, I don't even speak German, but the first time I heard it, I was like, what in the world is this?
Yeah.
I went into the like deep rabbit hole on German rap.
All those words are like 30 letters long.
Yeah, exactly. So. And there's like all the sounds. It was just so cool. And then I got into French hip hop for a while. And then when I look at your stuff, I can definitely see how music would be affecting it.
Yeah.
So I remember looking at through your website. I was like, I wonder, has this guy seen the Engine de Poitrine yet? Have you seen that?
No, I haven't, but I'm gonna have to see it now.
Dude, okay, I'll put a picture of him up here. But dude, it's like math rock. You seem like you would like math rock.
I actually do.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know Black Midi?
No.
Okay. Gordy Greep?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, but I will look them up because I really like.
I was just gonna say they're not necessarily clean.
Clean. Okay.
But it is. It's like your brain's a Rubik's cube and someone else is twisting it. It's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the easiest way I can describe it.
Yeah, that's Engine de Poitrine is two guys. I think they're guys. I don't know. They wear these crazy polka dot costumes.
I know exactly
what
you're
saying. Okay.
Yes.
The French Canadian.
I didn't know they were called. I didn't know that's how you said the name, but yes, I have seen them and I do really enjoy that stuff.
Yes, dude.
Yes.
And the guy's playing the double neck bass guitar. He's looping everything.
Yep.
It's insane. And there was a point where when I first discovered them, it was probably 2 months ago, that that's all I could listen to. I was just obsessed. And then a lot of my art started to take that on, whatever that is. So to see your work, I can see there's been some deep dives in some bands. What are some of the genres you listen to the most right now? Like what are you?
Jazz is always going to be number one, but jazz you can branch into a million different things. But if it's got a saxophone in it, 90% of the time I'm going to enjoy it.
Okay, but jazz, all right.
Yeah.
So like
the quintessential artist genre.
Okay, but is it like Miles Davis or is it like modern day, contemporary?
A little bit of everything, but but I will find most of the time it's jazz fusion.
Jazz fusion.
But my favorite right now has been listening to a lot of Japanese jazz fusion from the 80s.
Okay.
So
So is it like lo-fi MIDI kind of background?
No. It's kind of like something that you would listen to on a yacht.
Oh, okay.
Or on a beach or something.
There's 80s jazz fusion.
I'm Gen Z, right?
Okay.
But something I've noticed is a lot of Gen Z people have kind of discovered this era of music from Japan and have like latched onto it because it's very hopeful sounding.
Oh, okay.
And so there's this one guy, Masayoshi Takanaka. He's probably the most well known from his generation, and he comes out on stage with a surfboard that's a guitar.
Oh, dope.
And that's kind of like that encompasses all the music, anything. It sounds like something that you'd want to be listening to on a beach.
Okay.
Or driving in Hawaii or something like that.
Okay.
It's great music, but there's a lot of jazzy riffs on his guitar that I really enjoy.
Move aside, Doobie Brothers. We got the Japanese.
I like the Flaming Lips though.
Okay.
That's closer to the Doobie Brothers, I would say.
Well, I just think of like things I would listen to on it, like yacht rock. You know, remember that genre.
I don't know if it's necessarily yacht rock. I think it's just I would listen to it on a yacht.
Yeah,
that's what I'm getting at.
I just heard the word yacht and I automatically go to that.
Yeah, I know.
Plus the 80s, but I can. Okay, I'm gonna have to look them up. Masayoshi, what is it?
If you type in Takanaka, it'll come
Takanaka.
up. Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of.
You know what? I think I've seen that name on a lot of the Instagram Reels music.
He just came back to the U.S. for a tour for the first time in like 20 years.
Okay.
Like a couple months ago. So yeah, that's probably why you've seen it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So jazz gets you riled up, gets you going.
Yeah. The more fast paced it is, the more nonsensical it is, the better.
Okay.
Because it's just causing my brain to percolate.
Right.
You know, it's so unnatural sounding, almost animal like. So it's just magic. It works. It works every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then so you're doing these deep dives not only on the genres of music, but I notice from your portfolio that you're really thematic, like theme based. It seems like you go through a theme and you just all this stuff comes out. For example, like I wrote some things down because when I was looking, there was a time when you were really doing a lot of just heads. Then there was a bunch of maps. There was that whole floppy disk series you did, which was cool. A language is another thing. Like I see this up here.
Yeah.
I see like the conlang, like creating your own script and type. Mm-hmm. That speaks to me because I'm in that same world. I love that stuff.
Do you like me to explain?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
Please
Okay.
do.
Yeah. So it's so funny because like for me, I have trouble painting for my own life, right? But then I go back and I start thinking, you know what? There's little things that I've worked into my work that actually are me when I try to depict other stories and stuff, and they work their way in like this. Way back when I was in middle school, I didn't have a lot of friends. I would ask my mom to take me to the school early, and I would have a handful of quarters in my pocket, and I would go and print out a bunch of stuff on the printers there because we didn't have a printer at home. But I would go on Google and find alphabets of languages from all over the planet, and I started deciding that I was going to make my own. I used these little notebooks I would take with me to school every single day and construct. It kind of started out like a code. So like I would take English words and replace the G with this and with this. And, you know, it was influenced by all the different writing systems, you know, Arabic, East Asian, you know, all kinds of stuff. And then I believe it was about 2022, I saw this documentary on Netflix for the first time called Struggle about this artist, Stanislaw Sokolski. And he had this obsession.
The Polish guy?
Yes.
Yes,
you know
really
about him.
Dark. Yes, I know. I love his stuff. It's very dark.
It is very dark, but I enjoy it. I like a lot of dark and scary things. Big Lynch fan.
Right on.
But his whole method of trying to figure out, or you know, I don't know what was in his head, but building this culture that didn't exist kind of re-sparked that in me. And I started going back and going through the scripts and things again of how different cultures write throughout history. But the main thing that I latched onto was the Rosetta Stone, right?
Okay, yeah.
And particularly how we would not have been able to translate a lot of things without it. And so the ambiguity there, thinking about all the information that has been lost over time and all these stories that have been lost, also ties in with a few things personally. But I worked that into some of these pieces. So this right here, I cannot translate this for you. This is not anything in particular, but it is based off of practice of writing certain scripts. So if you look through a lot of my stuff, you will see repetitive patterns. I don't plan on them. I turn my brain off and I just let my hand do what it does best, and it comes up with something.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part right there, where it starts. These little loops, you see them all over the place.
And see, to me, that looks similar to Korean. The Korean script, but there's elements of Japanese and even the Chinese characters, which you know both cultures borrow at times. That everything kind of fits in a square.
Yeah.
You can. When I see it, I know. Oh, that's a language.
Yeah.
But what does it say? I can't figure it out. I don't know. And I think that's cool.
That's a mystery that draws you in and makes you try to take context from the rest of it. So theoretically, this does actually say something, but I can't tell you what it actually says.
Right.
Yeah.
That's for the viewer to figure out.
Exactly. And that's why it's in everything. It's in this piece. It's a little bit in that one, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And another thing that I like about your work is the names that you come up with, the titles.
It is so important to me.
Okay.
Titling.
Speak to me about that.
I always title afterward. You know,
Okay.
some people they know their title before they finish their work, but I always have to title it afterward, and it needs to sound good, like when it's spoken. So the choices of consonants and vowels and everything, I will go through a thesaurus till I find a word that means what I want, but sounds perfect to match the rest of it, and that matches the piece. There's some theory, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it is how we associate hard and soft things based off of the sounds that they make, and the words that are used to describe said things. Like blorp and squink, which one sounds hard to you?
Squink sounds hard to me, yeah.
Exactly. So something about our language and how we pick up on it reflects the sound or reflects the shapes and things that we think of.
Yeah.
And so in that instance, I like to use a lot of unconventional letters or spellings, or even go to other languages to find words. So I'm not afraid of it not being super understandable for the person when they read it, because I want the person to look more into what this means.
To what the title means, or what the art itself means? Both, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they are intertwined, but yes.
Yeah, well, the thing that I like about it is that it doesn't exactly explain the piece.
Yeah.
It gets my brain saying, huh. It makes me look further in the piece to see if I can figure it out.
Yeah.
And there's something mysterious about it. There's I know you from the first Saturday Arts Markets, and seeing you there, I always thought, oh, this guy's kind of mysterious. He's got like this cool, what's the back in the 40s, what was that?
Talking beatniks or something?
Yeah, beatniks. Okay. Yeah, thank you. You were reading my mind. It's kind of like a beatnik vibe. Okay. To me, you also look like Johnny Depp and Chow Yun-fat put together.
I'll take it.
Yeah, but like you have this young, cool. I don't know if you smoke, but if you had a cigarette, it would look really cool. I used to smoke. Don't smoke. It's bad for you. But that all kind of goes along with your art. To me, it's like, man, this dude's got something going on, something special.
I'm trying to build a world with it. That's the thing. I mean, I kind of took that when I watched that Chukalski documentary, and I started thinking, I need to create a mystique around this somehow, because that separates it. Even if I take influences from other artists, just because I find something inspiring, I can make it my own by encapsulating everything together somehow. Yeah. And I am still in the process of that, and I don't think that'll end until I end, but
Right. I think it always continues, but you're definitely doing it. You have created a world because you got me into it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I also know that at the markets, you're often working there. I mean, you'll be painting.
Yeah, no, I have to. I can't just sit there.
Okay.
And another thing too is, I can make myself a people person, but I'm not always necessarily a people person. So a way for me to do it in small spurts is to not be going out and be like, hey, you should come check out my art.
Right.
My way of doing that is sitting there and working on something to show that they don't need to ask, did you make this?
Right. They can see you, they know you're doing it. Okay. Well, that's cool. I have mad respect for people who can paint well and run a booth at the same time. I fail miserably at that. I can only do one or the other. I can't do both well. I've tried it. Either the art sucks or my sales or my personality sucks. Yeah. Because when I'm creating, I'm too much into myself and the moment. And so I mad props to you. I know that's not easy, but it also kind of gives folks a window into your whole process. So there's no secret about it, I guess.
Well, it's definitely worked from the sales aspect of things, because they're like,
good.
You're actually able to explain what this is to some extent where I find it interesting. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
But it helps. It helps a lot to be able to get through that mental block of sitting there and working on something so they can kind of get a little peek into the world,
Mm-hmm. So how do you stay, are you listening to music while you're there at the market? Like one ear? Or how do you stay in the zone artistically?
Yeah, I usually have something playing. I try not to too much so I can focus when someone comes in. Yeah. But I mean, I'm guilty. I gotta have something playing. I mean, if I'm there for 8 hours, I gotta have something going.
Yeah.
But it helps.
Also, I think your generation is way better at that than mine. Like
the multitasking thing.
Well, maybe not multitasking. I don't think anybody's really good at multitasking. Yeah, we say we are, but we're not that good. But just being able to have something playing in your ear and not let it overtake your thought process.
Well, that's the reason for the jazz.
Okay.
90% of the time, I'm listening to something that's instrumental.
Okay.
And so if I don't have too many, if I'm listening to something with lyrics, it's intentional, and I think that's something that a lot of people have lost, is they don't take time to just listen to music. Mm-hmm. I guess, because we're so mobile with it now. So I'll be laying in bed at night, and I'll just listen to the lyrics, and I'll imagine music videos and stuff in my head that don't exist to help me kind of get some visuals for stuff. Okay. I've always done that since I was a little kid. So.
And then do you keep a sketchbook then? Or do you go straight to canvas with your ideas? How do you do that?
These days, usually straight to canvas.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to be really good about sketching stuff out, but the older you get, the more busy life gets, and And I'll sketch out a quick idea sometimes, but the best ideas do actually come when I'm laying in bed about to go to sleep because of the listening to music. So I'll be listening and I'll have a visual pop in my head and I'm like, that's perfect. Okay, let me get up out of bed and, draw this on whatever the closest piece of paper is and then get back in so I can actually sleep. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So do you mostly work at night then, or do you?
Historically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Yeah. The staying up late until 4 a.m. and then going into work at 6. Yeah. Done that more times than I would care to admit.
Yeah. See, that makes for a long day.
Oh yeah.
But sometimes I think, you're young, you can handle that. You're younger
for
anyway.
now.
Yeah. There came a point where I'm 40 years old. I can't stay up all night anymore.
Yeah.
But you got ways to go.
I don't know. I might have already tapped myself out. I'm not sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't know. If I find a new studio space soon that's 24 hours, I'm going to be taking full advantage of that. So.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. So that will tell me a little bit about these pieces. We talked a little bit about this one here with the eyes. Do the eyes have any particular meaning that we need to be aware of?
Yes and no.
How would you explain this? Someone walked into your booth. How would you explain the work?
Well, this one in particular, which is called Ozymandias, and in parentheses next to it, death throes.
Okay.
So when actually
Ozymandias is from the
poem.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's multiple, but there is a poem, and I cannot remember it's an English guy that wrote it.
Okay.
I should know it considering how much it was repeated when I was in grade school. It was like every English class, we always did the Ozymandias poem like near the end of the year. And so I always remember the poem and what it's talking about. I can't recite it from memory. I wish I could, and I should be able to. But it's about, have you ever read it?
I don't know. I don't think I've read it, but I think it was referenced in The Watchmen too, right?
It probably is.
I think one of the characters is named
It's a very
after him.
famous poem.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's about this explorer. He goes into the desert and he finds this broken down statue in the middle of the desert with the head of the statue next to it and just 2 legs standing in the desert. And at the bottom of it, it said, "Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair." Which basically was like, look at my great empire, but the contrast of this broken down statue of this Egyptian pharaoh, and where is his empire now? So that's what the whole poem is about, is that, time takes away all. And so with that, the look upon part made me think about eyes. And, I had seen this old photo of, I think it's George Clooney's mom. I can't remember what her first name is, but, she was an actress.
She was famous, yeah.
Yeah, there's this one photo of her, and she was standing next to a couple of this rod that had a couple paintings of eyes on it, and it was a very unusual looking photo. I'm sure if you looked it up, you'd be able to find it. But that composition inspired me to work together with this. And so a lot of my paintings start out with a particular idea of putting down 2 contrasting colors on the canvas. In this instance, the orange actually went down first.
Okay.
But then after I saw that photo, I put down the blue because it had a blue background. And then I decided I needed to have another color to work with this, so I decided I was going to work with the yellow without knowing what any of this was actually going to be yet. But I came across that poem, put it together with the eyes in my head, and then I realized I could turn this kind of almost desert looking landscape into the 2 legs and a hand, but this is also here to represent the head from the poem. But yes. Cool.
It's like, now seeing the title, I might have been able to pull that all together. But in my head, when I first saw it, I'm coming up with my own explanation of what this is. And the eyes are something you see a lot in psychedelic art. And I'm really into, Alex Grey is one of my favorite artists. Yes. And just repeated patterns. MC Escher, you see a lot of eye patterns. And so it gets me going down that route a little bit. And I look at every artwork kind of as a trip,
Yeah, I get it.
And that's why I'm so drawn to yours, because I'm like, man, what is this guy on? Not saying you're on anything, but
I'm not.
Okay, that's even better.
Yeah,
because me neither, not anymore. Those days are gone.
Anxiety and caffeine for the most part.
Right on.
That does enough.
Yeah. In fact, do you know who Michael Pollan is? He wrote The Omnivore's Dilemma. He's
I don't.
He's a famous writer, but he wrote this book about pharmacology, psychedelics being used in like depression and whatnot. I heard him speak about caffeine one time being the most powerful drug of all, but we use it so much that we're kind of dead into it. If you would take like 6 months, no caffeine, and then you have a cup of coffee, that's all you need, man. You know what I mean? But can you get that 6 months without it? That would be
6 months without killing somebody? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that in totally, like, with all respect in the world. I love your stuff because it takes me on a journey to another world, and that's for me. Art is a way to escape. It's a way to see from a new point of view, and your stuff does that. You know, it's kind of like a dance to me, dance of colors, and watching you work, you can see too. Also, we're both lefties, so that's awesome. I think lefties have a certain.
I mean, I think everything I think most of what they say is true.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know too many lefties myself personally.
Yeah, I just got an aunt.
Right? Yeah, I had a grandma, but she only had 2 fingers on one of her hands, so that was why. The other hand, that's why. Cool. So you're a painter, you're a photographer, you're a designer, you're a sculptor. You do a lot of different things, and you're prolific in all of them. So where did this all start or come from? Have you just been doing this your whole life? Or?
I mean, I've been pretty creative for most of my life. I mean, when I was a little kid, you know, I was coming up with little characters and things that I would draw out, and I would make little miniature comic books when I was in elementary school.
Cool.
Of ninja vegetables that would fight each other. You know, little. Nice. I don't know, just what I did. I still have them. I still cherish them.
Yeah.
But I was always trying to make all kinds of little things. I think it kind of runs in the family, especially with the men. We all tend to tinker with the things a little too long sometimes. Okay. You know, but I think I've got it under control.
When you're channeling it in a good way,
yeah, and it's. I want to learn it all, you know. So I'll jump between one thing and another. So, jack of all trades when it comes to that.
You do a lot of different mediums, a lot of different art styles. Would you consider yourself to be a painter first, or would you consider yourself just to be an artist in general first, and then everything else?
Painter probably first, just simply because that's a majority of my work. I mean, photography, I do enjoy my photography, but it's one of those conflicting things, you know, when you're living in an age like today where, you know, everybody has a camera in their pocket, anyone can call themselves a photographer. And I did hear a guy recently that was talking about shooting stuff on film being probably the most legitimate way that you can even do it anymore, that digital is even difficult to legitimize, which you definitely can. It's just like, you can't question there is a technique that comes to developing film, which I definitely did at home in my bathtub.
The old school
did the whole thing. Yeah.
What do they call it? A dark room, or?
Yeah. Just with
chemicals in a bathtub and all.
Oh yeah. Okay. My own bathtub, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I figured out how to do all of it. I actually still have my kit to this day, and I learned how to do it and to time it and to keep the water hot and all this other stuff with the cheapest setup possible because I didn't have access to a dark room, except for in high school we did, which was very cool. But.
Well, now you just need a filter on your phone. That's all you got to.
I know. Well, not that I don't think that I personally think you can still find legitimacy no matter how you take a photo, but it's more about what does it represent? Does it engage the person as much as a painting does? If it does, then by all means, I'll say that it's fair.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely think there is something. I have a whole theory of what I'm working with when it comes to work. You can have. High physical effort and low mental effort, you know. Jackson Pollock, one of my favorites. A lot of people still hate his stuff to this day, but I still enjoy it because he learned how to turn his brain off and put a lot of high physical effort into his work, you know.
Speaking of Jackson Pollock, I know that he's a controversial figure. What do you think of Rothko then?
I actually love Rothko.
Do you love Rothko? Okay,
yeah.
I've had this conversation with many folks.
Yeah, it's funny because when I was getting into studying all the different artists and trying to figure out where they came from and everything, that's another factor when it comes to that criteria of determining was there a lot of effort put into this. And Rothko in particular I see as extremely distinctive because of his history and his own difficulties that he dealt with. So his entire life is reflective of his entire career. I'm not going to say that one painting is better than another because it's hard to separate them all when you learn about how they changed over time in reflection to his own life. And so when I see that, that puts a higher level of importance on every era of it for me. So when you just throw it in front of somebody and you say, do you like this? I'm expecting them to say no.
Yeah.
But when you tell them the whole story, they're like, okay, I understand it now. I actually kind of do like it. That doesn't mean that I agree with the technique, but I can appreciate it. And that's enough for me.
Yeah. Well, that's fair to say. I mean, I think Rothko was, you know, a well-trained artist. He knew what he was doing.
You can say charlatan if you believe that.
Well, at the end of his career, like to me, and I've had this conversation with many folks, I just don't get it.
Yeah.
And I understand the whole body of work. Sometimes for me, I feel like, why are you making me do all the work? I have to go back and know your whole history and go back and know all the things that happened.
You're entitled to that entirely.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that that's why this is fun to talk about because everybody's got a different opinion, a different point of view. And with the Pollocks too, like I've seen, so I used to live in Chicago. I lived there for a long time. And they have this big Pollock taking up a huge wall. Him and Cy Twombly.
Who I also love.
Okay, yeah. I just can't get Cy Twombly, man. I just don't get it. And the thing, I'll just say this. One of the reasons why is because there's this huge piece of Cy Twombly taking up a whole wall in the Chicago Art Institute. A whole wall that could be like a lot of somebody else's. And it's just his little scribbles. It's like, oh man.
Well, let me ask you one thing since we're talking Cy Twombly, because that doesn't mean I like everything that he does. Yeah. He definitely has some pieces that I love, but even at the gallery that they have in downtown Houston at the Menil, there's a handful of pieces in there. I'm like, he's got other stuff that's better. Move these out.
Yeah.
Is it the ones that he's got like words and tiny little pencil scribbles on, and it's just like a white canvas?
Yeah, the one at the Art Institute it's very big, and it's just a little. There may be some words in there, but it's mostly just little scribbles.
Oh, is it just the big...
Yeah, a lot of that stuff. And
yeah.
To me, I don't know. I don't know.
I will admit, those are harder to defend. I did have the lady that worked at the Cy Twombly Gallery explain them to me, and I appreciated them more. But it was like an instance like that with the Rothko. It's like, I appreciate it, but I know he did better stuff than this.
Yeah.
But like, the rest of Cy Twombly's work, especially the larger canvases that have multiple colors on them, you know, because he pulled that's something that's part of the reason why I can appreciate it is I pull a lot of stuff from history that I depict or stories and stuff, and he'll take these old Renaissance paintings, or he would take these old Renaissance paintings and depict them the way that he did, but when I started looking at them in the composition, it matches up with the original painting. But when I see expressive painting like that, I always see painting emotion. Things that cannot be painted.
Yeah.
And so he's painting the emotion of every individual in the scene, represented in some kind of way. And even though it just looks like smears on a wall, if you sit there for a minute and you take the context, you can understand it. But I understand not everybody has patience and time for that. I get it.
Or the education to know, because what you just said is true. In fact, a friend of mine who loves Cy Twombly told me, Jeff, this is talking about those squiggles. He's like, these are the moments right before you get that idea. Yeah. That's what this is. This is a visual representation of that. I don't know if he read that somewhere or if he came up with it on his own. But when he said it, okay, I get that. And that's cool. But me just walking through the museum, I ain't going to get that. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
I don't know. But, you know. Yeah. I think your work is better than...
I used to be in that camp. That's the thing. I used to be in that camp, and then I transitioned over to the dark side when it came to it, and I started thinking, you know what? Maybe there is something more to this, and I just need to take more time. But again, it's still not for everybody. Yeah. Because it comes from where you come from and what you personally value, and I don't agree with the dollar amounts they put on those paintings because they're too low effort, but they're high mental effort. But I think physical effort should come with some financial reward.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Like why is an oil painting so much less than something like that when there's so much more technique that has to be done with the hand and mind and time to create that? Yeah. The idea may be great, but I mean, I take that into account when I make my stuff, because I'm not making Da Vinci's over here. I'm not taking all this time to make a very articulate or perfectly proportioned figure, but on purpose.
Yeah.
So I understand that. So if someone takes the time to go do that, I think they should be rewarded for that, and I'll take my reward too, because I get to have great conversations.
That's true. And you have a huge body of work.
Yeah, see, that's my reward. I don't have to spend 2 years making one painting. I can spend 2 years making 100, and it works.
And that's awesome. And the other thing I'll say about your work too is that it flows. Like, it's all from you. I can tell, that's one of Rex's pieces.
That's good. I'm glad.
Yeah. In fact, I wanted to bring up one of my favorite ones of all of them, and I found it on your website. I've never seen it in person. One of my favorite ones is Fran Lebowitz on the little floppy disk.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's totally... I know it's just a little, probably, random piece, but...
No, I know the exact one you're talking about.
Like,
I remember every piece I've ever made. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's I did one of her and one of Jean-Michel Basquiat at the same time. I had watched the Netflix documentary that she did, that Martin Scorsese did with her. Yeah. And I don't know. I agree with her on a lot of things. She and I think, would get along really well, but not at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. I mean, she's a great character. I would love to sit down and have coffee with her. Yeah. Or maybe a glass of wine.
But I wouldn't want to be her friend.
Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Awesome. Rex, this has been great. Thanks for coming here and joining me. I want to tell people your social medias real quick. Your Instagram is Rex Autry. That's easy, right? TikTok as well, Rex Autry.
Yep.
YouTube, Rex Autry.
Yeah.
Right? And we'll put all up here so people can see it. And your website is rexautry.com?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
It's really hard, right?
Yeah, it makes it really easy, except most people mispronounce the last name.
Oh, how do they say it?
Well.
Autry?
You say
okay.
Autry.
All right.
And like, that's not it. Actually, it's not even my last name. It's my middle name, but I don't use my last name.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you were related to the singing cowboy.
I'm named after him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah. No, my last name's Wadsworth, but I go by Autry because it just sounds cleaner.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it definitely has a flow to it. I like it, Rex Autry, and it makes me, I automatically think of Jean Autry. But then I see you, I think Johnny Depp, and put it all together.
I'll take Johnny Depp.
Yeah, man. Okay, before we go we got to do the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
This is where we've already gotten to know you a little bit, but now we're going to get to know you a little bit better.
All right.
These are quick answers. Don't think about it too much. It's usually either or, one or the other.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like put you on the hot seat. Right?
Okay.
All right, here we go. So the first one is coffee or tea?
Depends on the day.
Okay. That's not an answer, but all right.
Okay, coffee. At the end of the day, coffee.
That's see, a lot of people try to overthink it too much, but
I start thinking of matcha, and then I start, do I want a matcha latte or do I want a hot coffee?
Right. Right on. You'll take the caffeine.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Either way. How about red or blue?
Red.
Okay. Drum and bass or acid jazz?
Acid jazz.
There you go. I figured. Well, those are the two thoughts that I had looking at your work. You're either into drum and bass or acid jazz or both.
Both, but acid jazz more of the time.
Right on. Okay. There's another band that I think you would really like called Knower. It's kind of like math rock-ish, but also...
Knower with a K?
Yes.
Yes, I know them.
Yes. Yeah. Their drummer is one of the greatest drummers of all time. I can't remember his name right now.
Yeah, they got a song called I'm the President. Do you know that
Yes,
one?
yes.
I love that song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are on the same page. All right. Up or down?
Up.
Stone in your shoe or itch you can't scratch?
Stone in my shoe.
Okay. Morning fog or evening fire?
Morning fog.
All right. Long drive or long walk?
Long drive.
Okay. Trust your eye or trust your gut?
Trust my gut.
Okay. The eyes are looking at you then. No, I'm just playing. Movie theater or Netflix?
Movie theater.
Okay. What was the last movie you saw?
Project Hail Mary.
Okay.
I've seen it 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Right on. So it was good then.
Oh, it's one of the first movies in a while that I've wanted to go see multiple times.
Okay.
It's not overly deep, but it is. It's refreshing.
Okay. All right. Is this still in the theater or no?
I think it is not for much longer though.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like going to the theater, but only if it's a good movie. I have walked out of things.
Yeah, no.
And I walked out of a lot lately. So
I don't go to many, but if I go to a theater, half the time I'm seeing a rescreening of something. Like I saw Space Odyssey last year and would do that again in a heartbeat.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. How about plan or no plan?
Plan.
Okay. Early bird or night owl?
Both.
All right, but that's not an answer. But you already told us you stay up late, so
yeah, no, I
must get some work done.
Yeah, I have. I'd rather be awake than asleep.
All right. If you're staying up late, it's usually to create?
Oh yeah,
okay,
every time.
Okay,
every
so
time.
I would call you a night owl then. Mm-hmm. Concept driven or process driven?
Concept.
Okay. Create with music or without music?
With.
Yeah, we know that one.
Can't go without it.
All right, so one artwork at a time or many at a time?
Many.
Okay, I figured that. So you're working on one thing, go to another, come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is art that whispers or art that shouts?
Art that shouts.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that from you.
Yeah, but I'll do you one better. So art that shouts, but from a distance.
Okay.
So it's like I know it's screaming at me, but I can't make it out yet.
Yeah.
You know?
That totally checks because your pieces kind of draw me in. You know, you get that first boom in your face.
Yeah.
And then you start looking a little closer, and then you start to see a bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. And then your mind starts going, and then you see the title, and you're like, what is this? And then that
That's
Rubik's Cube starts
I want a lot
moving.
of little things people to look at. You know, it's like, oh, there's that there. Oh, yeah. Well, what does this mean? What's that?
Yeah. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're doing a great job, man. I love it. People can find you at the First Saturday Arts Market in Houston during the months of September through May, right?
Yes.
So,
yes, I'm going to be coming back.
So we'll be back in the fall. And then is there anywhere else people can see your work?
I am hopefully going to be planning a show this summer.
Okay.
No defined date on that yet, but
But if they follow you on the social medias...
Oh, yeah, I'll be putting it out there. I just, I'm still working out the major problem of where.
Right,
So,
okay. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. Mm-hmm. And when you do, I'm sure you'll let us all know.
Absolutely.
Your website's great. Your social media is full of good stuff. I really enjoy your YouTube channel, too. I think you should do more of the videos. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of a sucker for videos nowadays.
Yeah.
But it's cool to get inside your brain, and you do some short films too that are pretty trippy and wild, and it's kind of like your artwork, but in moving picture form.
Well, I'll take that as inspiration because it's definitely been something that's been eating at me that I need to do.
You need to do it. Mm-hmm. Get on it. All right, Ren.
Yeah.
Rex Autry, thank you very much, brother.
Yep.
See you next time. Mm-hmm. See you later. Peace.